So that's the obvious part. That's what they're going on. The less obvious part here, I want you to go back to verses 1 and 2. I want you to spot this here, okay? Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and what? Cried, and they wept. And then what's the third thing they did? Verse 2. Grumbled. Yeah. Look at Matthew chapter 13. Keep your finger there. Look at Matthew chapter 13. We're going to pick up verse 42. And 41. The Son of Man will send forth his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all the stumbling blocks and those who committed lawlessness, and he will throw them into the furnace of fire. In that place there will be what? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. When you grumble, what's your expression? What's on your face? Right? Right? Gnashing of teeth. It's dark. In Numbers, it's dark, there's weeping, and there's grumbling. Oh my gosh. Do you see the connection? The dead are choosing death and rejecting life. Stunning, isn't it? Stunning. They rejected Moses. They rejected Jesus. But this picture in Matthew 13, these are souls in hell, is it not? And they're weeping. Why? Because they have been denied the world they love, being ruled in the darkness by Satan himself. They are wailing. They are mourning that. It's not that they're sorry they have missed salvation. We misunderstood that. They're sorry that they're no longer under the kingship of Satan, of the devil. That's what they're mourning. And they're gnashing their teeth at God for having done that to them. Wow. I don't know that we need to feel sorry for them. I'll just let that soak in a minute. If we were to extract some of these souls from hell, they would go back. They rejected Moses. They rejected Jesus. They looked for another leader to lead them back in the darkness. Immediately, they start looking for another leader. We just read this, right? They started looking for another leader. Maybe this sounds familiar. Crucify him! Crucify him! Well, what shall I do with your king? Born King of the Jews. What shall I do with him? We have no king but Caesar. You've heard that before. You connecting the dots now? Whoa. We underestimate the grip the darkness has on the hearts of the lost. They'll do this again. In 1 Samuel chapter 10, there's this story about they want a king like all the rest of the nations around them. They want to play like the big boys in the darkness in the world. So they want a king now. And so they've rejected the prophets, they've rejected the priesthood, and now they want a king. And God says to them, it's not you that they've rejected, Samuel. It's me. They're rejecting God. They keep doing this. And they did it in the book of Hebrews. This is not an accident. This is not a misfire. This is not they just keep screwing up. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that in church. They just keep messing up in church. Right? They do. In the synagogue, I guess. No, they're not messing up. Do you see that? They're not mixing. This is intentional. It's not a mistake. It's a character problem. But witness the heart of God here. He delivered people he knew would refuse because he loves them, and he knows that he will have a broad net, and he will capture many people who will begin to follow him. Many of them will follow him superficially, not from their heart. They will follow him out of a sense of religion, but they will not follow him in a sense that they love him and adore him and would follow him anywhere, no matter what. This is why the third commandment is in place. Third commandment's not about swearing with God's name. I'm not encouraging that behavior, by the way. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. For the Lord your God will not leave unpunished those who take his name in vain. It's not talking about cussing with God's name. It's talking about pretending to be a believer when you're not. That's what taking his name in vain means. But you've heard that before.